Okay, I'm here with Father Kizito Kiyimba.
Yeah.
What diocese are you from, Father?
As a Jesuit, I don't subscribe under any particular diocese. Our jurisdictions are provinces.
Oh, provinces.
Yeah.
Okay,
So my province is the East African province,
okay,
which comprises 6 countries: Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, South Sudan, Ethiopia, and Sudan. So that would be the primary jurisdiction. And I'm there as the provincial superior of the Jesuits in Eastern Africa.
okay.
Yeah,
The Provincial Superior of the Jesuits.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah.
incredible. So, what does that mean?
It means basically I have two basic jobs. One, to take care of the men, cura personalis, which means I receive their account of conscience to gauge exactly where they are, what are they going through, faith, the vows, um, health, motivation. I listen to them once a year.
Okay,
They have that right wherever they are in the world. So sometimes that means I have to take 2 planes to where they are outside the province, Tokyo.
hard to travel.
Yeah, it's the good thing is I enjoy traveling.
Okay, okay. You could rack up those frequent flyer miles.
Oh, yeah, sure. The second job I have is look for the money. It's easy to receive people's vows. They become Jesuits, but they need work and they need to be sustained in the work. So I have to go around begging. Most of my time is going around, especially to the west and to the north, looking for money, looking for donors. We have a very good and healthy partnership with the province, the Jesuit province of US Midwest.
Okay,
Um, we've had this relationship. It's called a convenio for since the 1980s, mid 1980s,
yeah.
and by it we have exchanged resources.
Mhm.
So they give us a bunch of money,
Okay,
and in the beginning they were giving us Jesuits to work in our apostolates as they were picking up. But now we are beginning to trickle in with men going across the Atlantic to the west. So they come here and do some work.
okay. So here you come to America and all the parts of the West to raise money, right? To fundraise.
Mostly.
Yeah, mostly. And so, what do you do with the money? What are you raising it for? What are you building things?
Yeah.
What is the mission?
The mission would be to grow apostolates in the church down that side is still building,
Mhm.
and the numbers of Jesuits
Yeah,
are rising.
how many Catholics are in this country? I mean, if you
Good question.
give us a
Good
sense of
question.
the total population and the percentage of Catholics, and then a percentage of Jesuits, right?
Okay. The total population of the province is around 400 million. Um, but percentage wise, I don't know the exact figures, but if you go percentage wise,
It's growing though.
it is
It's growing.
growing.
Okay.
It's that part of the Catholic Church that is still growing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we keep even after here. I'm going to baptize a little girl,
Okay.
Nelai. No, it's growing steadily,
Okay.
and even vocations are growing steadily. It's the only part of the Society of Jesus where vocations are rising.
Are
So,
growing,
yeah,
right?
yeah, growing. So, but Uganda has the biggest percentage of Catholics, followed by Kenya or South Sudan.
So how much percent do you think?
Uganda would have something like 35%
35%.
of
So
42 million.
one third the country.
Yeah. Kenya, I think it's
And
between.
what's the history there? What's the history you were?
Christianity came to Uganda in 1877. The Anglicans came first.
Yeah.
Then the Catholics came in 1879,
Okay.
and that's where you have the Uganda Martyrs.
Okay.
The the
So
22 young
So
men.
the Ugandans brought in Catholicism. Is that what?
We were missionaries to many of our neighboring countries, the Ugandans. So when Christianity came, it found root quite
Okay.
fast. We even produced saints.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
yeah, the 22 young men who died for their religion in 1886
Okay.
were Ugandans.
Yeah.
So that is the brief history. So Christianity has taken root, and in spite of the ethnic, political tensions and conflicts and war,
Yeah.
religion has always been an undercurrent
Yeah.
to revive hope, to keep us working together. So, yeah, it is on solid foundations,
Okay.
Christianity. Yeah.
So okay. So then you have quite a few Catholics,
Yeah.
at least more than a little bit more than one third
Yeah.
in Uganda, right?
And in
In
Eastern Africa.
Eastern
Oh, in
Eastern
Uganda is more than one third.
more than one. So of all the provinces, it's about a third Catholic.
No, it goes down. Sudan,
Yeah.
we're almost non-existent.
Okay.
And then in
Where are
Ethiopia,
you from?
I'm a Ugandan.
Uganda. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Sudan is very Arab and Muslim, very tiny population of Catholics or Christians.
Okay.
Then Ethiopia is very Orthodox. Uh, so again, Catholics are a minority.
And then let's just go back a little into your background, Father Kizito.
Uh,
You became a priest when were you ordained?
I was ordained in 2000.
In
I'm a
2000.
Jubilee. I'm a Jubilee priest.
Oh,
I just
you're a
celebrated
Jubilee.
25 years.
Okay, all right.
Thank
Congratulations,
you.
Jubilee.
Thank you.
Wow, God
Yeah.
bless.
Thank you.
God bless. And then you became a Jesuit.
No. So I was in the diocese. I was in the Archdiocese of Kampala as a seminarian, and I went all the way to Theology 1.
Okay.
Then I digressed to the Jesuits. Some of my teachers
Okay.
were Jesuits, and
Okay.
they did their job in saying maybe you should try the Jesuits.
Okay.
So I went over to the Jesuits in 1991, ordained, took vows in 1993. You know, we take perpetual vows.
Okay. Yeah.
The first time
So
we
you
take,
became a Jesuit first,
yeah,
and then you.
you do novitiate first.
Okay.
At the end of 2 years, you do your perpetual vows. Now you're a Jesuit. Now you can sign SJ
Okay.
at the end of those 2 years.
Okay.
And then the formation starts.
Okay. Got it.
You go through the regular formation for priesthood, philosophy, theology, apprenticeship, which we call regency.
Yeah.
It's usually 2 years or 3 years. Then, you get to theology. Then you're ordained, and then you may be sent for studies. I was sent for studies. After ordination, I worked for 7 months in a parish in Tanzania, a very busy parish in the center of Tanzania, Dodoma.
Yeah.
Then I went for studies. I went first for a licentiate in fundamental theology in Frankfurt at the Jesuit College, Philosophisch-Theologische Hochschule, Sangeogen in Frankfurt. After that, I went to the London School of Economics and Political Science, and I did my doctorate in philosophy of science, philosophy of natural science. After that, I was deployed to teach in a seminary. We call it a scholasticate.
Yeah.
In Zimbabwe, far from home. And I did that for 12 years. I started out as a teacher. Then I became the dean of philosophy. Then I became the principal of the college. So the academic side, I was the
Yeah.
Then it became a university, and I was the first president of that university.
Yeah.
They left me there for only 2 years and called me back to become provincial.
Yeah.
So I came back kicking and screaming. I don't think I'm cut out for administration, but there you
So
are.
there's being a diocesan priest was challenging enough, and so then you
Maybe it will. I must be careful how I say that, but I saw it as limiting the scope in which I could work.
Yeah.
I hope it comes across with humility. I didn't want to just work for one diocese.
Yeah.
I wanted to work for the globe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Jesuits did it for me.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay. No, that's terrific. Okay. So then in your course of um, discerning outside of the diocese, okay, so you heard the call from God, I'm going to be a priest. So you went,
Yeah.
got through that, and then you were at the diocese, and then you were a diocesan priest, and then from there, what made you sort of go out in the world? Now you travel all the time. What happened from there?
I think I came from an endowed archdiocese. Kampala ordains anywhere between 15 and 20 priests every year.
Wow.
Recently, they just ordained, in August, they ordained 24 young men to the priesthood in one go.
Yeah.
So, in terms of vocations, we are endowed. you will usually find 2 or 3 priests in a parish
Yeah.
in
Wow.
that Archdiocese of Kampala.
Well, that's why a lot of priests from Africa come to the United States.
Yeah.
I in my parish, I mean, well, actually belong to two dioceses. One in the Diocese of Brooklyn, and the other Diocese of Scranton. The bishop in that diocese has
Yeah.
a relationship with the Diocese of Ghana,
Okay.
or one of the dioceses in
In
Ghana,
Ghana.
and so we have quite a few priests from Ghana who
Okay.
go to the Diocese of Scranton in Pennsylvania.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Have you heard about that? Or
No, I see it happening.
okay,
There is a new bishop in the US who is a Ugandan.
okay.
I think on the East Coast. I forget the exact diocese, but he's a Ugandan.
There's over 196 dioceses in the United
Oh, wow.
States, so
Oh,
there's
wow.
quite a few, quite
Yeah.
a few.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we got quite a few Catholics here in the U.S.
Okay. So what drew me, the pull factor, were the needs of the world. I wanted to attend to the world without any limitations or being married to a diocese.
Yeah.
I wanted to go where the need is greatest, which
Yeah.
is the charism of the Society of Jesus.
Yes.
We go where the need is greatest.
Yeah.
So that pulled me to the Society of Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just talk about this. Is a little off topic, which is what do you say about the criticism of some that say that some people take the Jesuit message and they sort of sanitize Jesus out of it. They just take the lessons and take all the God out of it. What do you say about that? Or are you familiar?
I'm not exactly familiar.
Okay, so we potentially have a few Jesuit universities here in the United States,
Okay.
and they take the teachings
Okay.
and they sort of sort of bifurcate. Okay, here's the spiritual and God aspect of it,
Uh-huh.
and here's the lessons you can learn as human beings.
Uh-huh.
So they kind of separate it out, teach it as separate from God. You don't necessarily have to believe in God to be living the principles of a Jesuit.
Okay. Yeah. I think something gets lost in the translation. The core belief or the core mission of a Jesuit is to find God in everything. And so we are open to meeting people where they are. And through that door,
Yeah.
when we have made contact, hopefully we lead them back to Jesus.
Yeah.
So it might get lost in the translation when people catch us in the middle of the act of trying to reach out to people. It may come across as if we are willing to sacrifice the core principles of Christianity or Jesus. But no, that's halfway.
Yeah.
We are still trying to deliver the gospel.
Yeah, and isn't conversion part of that?
Yeah.
Isn't conversion part of
It
that?
is part
So
of
we
that.
can't leave conversion out of the conversation, right? Aren't we evangelizing, right? Pope Leo says, sometimes charity without evangelization is just charity, and you could do charity anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
So we would be willing to give the spiritual exercises of Ignatius to Jews, to Buddhists. There is a spirituality center in Zurich where half of it is Buddhist, the other half is Christian. And the guide, the spiritual guide, is a Jesuit who knows Buddhism very, very well. So in the hope that I think the basic message is that we are all God's children. We begin from there, wherever you are coming from. Now, the second layer is, we are now called to be Christians, but it builds on humanity and the core values of being human.
Yeah.
Sometimes we are caught in the middle of building the foundation of humanity and dialogue, and then we are condemned that, these guys are willing to sacrifice the message. No, actually we are very committed as Jesuits to the message.
So tell us about your project. We only have a few minutes left. Tell us about the project. What are you raising money for? What are you passionate about today?
We come from a region between the Great Lakes, not the American Great Lakes of Superior and so on, but we have our own Lake Victoria, Tanganyika, and so the Great Lakes region.
Okay.
And the Rwandan genocide and the political turmoil that happened in the Great Lakes. That's to the southwest. To the northeast, we have Somalia and the Horn of Africa. So we generate a lot of refugees. My passion is to make Jesuit high quality education accessible to the poorest, the ones who are most lost.
And are you building schools? What are you doing?
We do have schools. We have schools almost in every country. Have at
And
least
you
one.
want to give free tuition? What's
Not exactly free. It is mixed.
yeah, okay.
So those who can,
So these are scholarships. You're
we
paying
make
for half,
like
and they
like
have,
50%.
because they have to have
Yeah.
they have to have
Yeah.
some stake in it.
Yeah. They do.
Stake in the game.
So at the level of secondary schools, what we call secondary schools, we do have some very well-performing schools.
Okay.
We are now going to, this passion now is about building the next level. Because when we train them at secondary school and they see how high the quality is of our education, they end up going abroad, overseas. Many of them are in the US. They want to follow the valuable education they got at secondary school. So we are trying to retain some of them to stop the brain drain, give them a good university education, and then find a good job for them. So we are trying to build a university in which our students will not be job seekers. They will create jobs. So there is a new current in education, in curriculum in Africa, where we are going for something called the competence-based curriculum. So kids from a very young age must be able to solve problems. So we learn that in classes.
Yeah, well, solve problems, and entrepreneurship is about being resourceful, right?
Yeah.
Are you teaching entrepreneurship, how to start businesses?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
So we have four initial schools. One is business and innovation. And the first degree we are registering soon, and maybe get students to register for maybe in January, God willing, is called Business Innovation and Social Entrepreneurship, which is a brand new course in the whole of East Africa.
It would be great to have it here too.
Oh, yeah, wonderful.
So, you know,
yeah.
But go ahead. What are the other three?
The other three are data science, so that we catch up on the fourth industrial revolution, artificial intelligence, and so on. And then we have engineering and mechatronics, and then we shall have science education. Those are the four.
Okay.
We think science is not being taught well in our schools. It comes across as difficult. It's for boys. It's geeks. We want to change the way science is taught so that it's befriended by the kids. So we hope to.
And is God and Jesus sort of weaved in all of that?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
The ethos of our very being is Jesus and God.